Good evening, everybody, viewers, my prod staff, preachers, jurors, iSurvivor fans. It is awesome having you here this evening. Tonight, we are wrapping up a 35th season of iSurvivor. It's been, I don't know, 17 odd years, give or take, a bunch of torches snuffed. But tonight, we crown one of these wonderful, awesome ladies the winner of season 35, Courtney or Grace. This is your final tribal council. We are going to start off with opening statements from our final two, and then we will get to our jury questioning. This is going to be a jam-packed event, and at the end, we will have a winner. Good evening, Courtney.
Hi, good evening.
Congratulations on making the final two. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you. Um, let's see. I just wanted to, give a brief summary of my game, my story here. So, I would say day one of the game, the first thing that I realized coming into this is that from the community of a different work series that I played Havoc, Ali was somebody that was kind of an acquaintance of mine, as well as Kira was playing the current season of that series. I didn't know her, but it was just a commonality that I found to try to connect with her. So the three of us kind of formed a little bit of a group. I wasn't sure where that was going to go, but that was kind of the first thing I did to try to find bonds. Day two of the game, I found myself really connecting, maybe day three, but very early, I found myself very much deeply connecting with Michael and Oliver. And on a call we had, I ended up asking them if they wanted to work together. That alliance ended up being something that I would say that most of my game was based on that bond with the two of them. But I essentially used those two groups that I had to keep myself very insulated in the game so that, by having those connections, both on the original Praslin tribe and then once we got to merge, I felt like I always kind of had an idea of what was going on in the game. I knew about a lot of the alliances that were forming, whether someone told me or not. I knew about alliances, for example, that Michael maybe was in with Ali, or things like that, where I had a good grasp of what was going on around me without actually having to do without actually having to necessarily get that information directly from that person. And then I felt like I put myself in a position where I just wasn't really going to be targeted by anybody within my OG tribe, which ended up being in the majority after the initial merge vote. I did, find myself bonding with some of the Ladigues, Dave and Amanda in particular, Dave specifically. And I did at one point, consider seeing I spoke to Dave and just he's so charming. And I just really thought wow, maybe this can get fluid. But I realized very quickly that my game was in a position in which I had built up such close personal relationships and bonds with four people that I genuinely grew to love, which is Michael, Oliver, Ali, and Kira. Where not only did I genuinely, from a game perspective, feel safe, but also couldn't really bring myself to do anything outside of trying to stick with all of them as long as possible. And so I do feel that the agents that I had in the game, with having those connections, gave me the ability to kind of steer the game in the direction of staying Praslin strong, which was basically based on the fact that I deeply loved all of my Bradland friends, and it also was best for my game in that scenario for us to do that. Um, and so, yeah, I mean, in this game, I never, I won, I believe, the most immunities out of anybody, which is funny because I've never won an immunity before this game. But um, I never had a vote cast against me in this game. I also believe I'm the only person who can say that. I do believe that even with those immunities, which made their round, there were rounds where that wasn't an option. I do think because of the connections that I formed in the game, that I don't know that I would have gotten a vote anyway, even without those immunities. Obviously, the jury can think on that or answer to that if there was ever a time where I was being targeted. But from my vantage point, I don't think I was. Um, and they did say at the first merge tribal council that in a back to basics season, the social game is going to be what wins. And I do think that sitting in the final two, never having a vote cast against me does show the social game that I was able to play. Um, and then, something else, a couple other things that were important to my game were I realized very quickly that in a game like this, there's no reason to, especially in the position I was in with the people that I was so close to and trusted so much, there wasn't really any reason to ever really like make side deals or make extra alliances or anything like that that would leave anybody feeling disrespected or foolish or burned. So um, at merge, I never made any additional alliances. I stuck with the people that I'd been with the whole game. And when it came time to vote somebody out, I tried to always kindly and respectfully let them know what I was doing and why, because I didn't want anybody to leave feeling foolish or feeling like they'd been played, at least by me, because it didn't feel necessary in a game without idols. Um, and then I would also say that I will admit something that I expect to be questioned about is the fact that obviously, with my plan of sticking with two trios that I'd formed, me, Kira, and Ali, me, Michael, and Oliver, and the plan that I had trying to get to Final Five with that, there was a point in that plan where I was going to have to trade somebody. And you guys kind of took each other out. And so it never happened. But we can talk about that further if anybody has questions about that. It definitely was a difficult thing after a while, knowing that that was my plan, just knowing, you start a game, you come up with a plan, you come up with a strategic idea of how to set yourself up, and then you get to know people and you learn to love people. And I do hope that all four of you in particular know that there's game and there's personal, and everything personal was absolutely, completely genuine and real. I genuinely love all four of you with my whole heart. And I, from a game perspective, wanted to get to that point, but also didn't because I didn't want to have to make that decision. And that was also a weak spot in my game because those rounds, the round where Oliver went, the round where Michael went, those were the rounds where I really lost my grip on the game. No agency in those rounds to I didn't really control that. Also the round that Kira went as well, I kind of got back against the wall with that a bit as well. But up until that point and then following that, I do believe that I had a lot of control in this game. I had a lot of knowledge. I was always in a really good spot. I feel I put myself in that good spot. And I think the last thing I have to say here is that the last big move I made in this game is in the night before the final three challenge, I realized that throughout the game, due to our schedules, Grace and I had never really gotten a chance to connect. So I reached out to her and she and I think we talked for 4 or 5 hours the night before the final three challenge and just talked about the game, talked about life. I knew that it was important in that final three situation if she won immunity to have that connection with her. And so I actually fell asleep on that call with her. I talked to her for so long. And I mean, we really did form like a really wonderful bond. I'm really happy to be sitting here with her. I think that she's fantastic. But that was, just one last big move I made was knowing that even if it was the final hour, it wasn't too late to still try to form a bond with someone I hadn't really made one with, despite not that I put no effort into it, but to just try that, and it did work out because she did choose to take me here and I'm getting my opportunity to talk about my game with you all. So I look forward to your questions and seeing your beautiful faces again. And that is all I'll say for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Courtney. I'm going to move you backstage quickly, and we will get to Grace's opening statement. Thank you. Grace.
Hi everyone. It's probably a little loud and my audio is probably not the best. Can you hear me though?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you're good.
Okay. I'm not gonna have very good audio throughout this, but I'll try. But hi everyone. I just want to say that I am extremely shocked that I happened to Mickey here. So I'm gonna go over a quick review of my game. He's prepared or anything because I've been
Grace, you're kind of breaking up.
working, but
Grace, you're
as you
kind of
can
breaking
see, I'm
up.
literally here now. But really, which obviously you couldn't do that, and also in the first
Grace,
challenges, I made sure, like the yeah,
you're breaking up really, really bad. Stop
yeah.
moving around. I don't think you need to be moving around because
Okay,
you're
can you hear
breaking
me
up a
again?
lot. I can hear you. I'm going to interrupt you if I feel like you're breaking up because, they're not going to hear your speech.
Okay, I'll stop moving. But
All right.
I'll stand right here the whole time. But yeah, as I was saying, it wasn't hard to fit because, and I also made sure, especially in that first challenge and everything, to show a huge impression of myself, and so that everyone could be like, "Oh, she's here to play the game. She's here to take it seriously. Like we want to vibe with her." And so, and I made my rounds to people, especially, I especially had a good connection in talking to Dave and Duke on my original tribe, and I kind of had my bonds with them as well. And so then the first, like literally in the pre-merge, it was easy to fit in. I just had to make myself visible because of the fact that the situation of Katrina quitting, and then we lost the first challenge, and we had Evan because Evan was not active with everyone. Oh, sorry. Was not active with everyone, and then we had the Gianna thing, and basically, like our tribe, like I still talked when I could, even though my work schedule got in the way at times. I still talked when I could, but I did enough to where I could make myself visible and I would not be paired in that group. Like, she's not helping us with challenges. She's not doing that. And I made sure to beast my way in that pre merge to show them, hey, it's valuable to keep me here. It genuinely is valuable to keep me here because I am doing good at these challenges, and I still, even though I'm not extremely good at messaging, and I've been saying this, I hate texting, but I've been making my rounds to everyone. So that's like, and in the pre merge, we just kept doing well in the challenges, and that's what got us to merge. And let's talk about that. That's been a fun ride. Um, the first thing is, you if you look and see how this merge went for a second, everyone. Look and see how the merge went. We could have had a Praslin Strong situation, or we could have had a Ladik Strong. I literally determined my decision. I determined how this merge was going to happen and how things were going to go. Because yes, I ultimately was the one, and everyone knows that I flipped on OG Ladik. Here's why I flipped on because information is very key in this game. Information from my good buddy saying that, hey, Ladique has an alliance of the four of them who are in merge with you that you are not a part of. And he said Amanda told him. So at that point, I'm like, no, 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 no. And then especially with the first vote, I literally went on a 3-hour call with
Oop. Did we lose her for anybody else? Yeah.
Am I
Grace?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you were breaking up really, really bad. You actually got disconnected. You were talking about why you flipped on.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, you're lagged
Okay.
like so bad. You have
I'm
like a
gonna
20-second lag.
start over from that. Sorry about
Yeah,
my
well,
pressing Wi-Fi.
yeah,
But
it's probably not best for you to start right now. You're
go
lagged.
fix this. Let's see. No, hold up. Okay, can we hear me now?
I can. You're definitely less lagged. Perfect.
Okay. But anyways, as I was saying, kind of like, so this is why I flipped on Ladive when I did, because information. I'm gonna repeat it. Information got back to me, and information is very key in this game. That there was a 4-person.
Well, this is going brilliantly. We'll give it another couple seconds to see if Grace can come back. We got to the information
Okay,
is
can we
key.
hear me?
Information is key part, Grace.
Can we hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, I don't know what's going on with my speaker. I can't. Sorry, this is so messy, yo.
Can you hear me? Hmm? This just doesn't look promising.
Okay, can we hear me?
Yeah, Grace, you're going to get another minute. You're going to get another minute to try to say what you got to say.
Okay, I'll do that. I'm sorry, y'all. But basically, and I can explain more in my questions, but yeah, so literally what happened in the League vote, I flipped because I found out there was an alliance I was not a part of. And I had no choice but to, and I felt it was going to be good for my game, considering how united they were, and I figured they were going to stay that way the whole merge, and I was going to be cut first, or they wanted to turn on League. I was going to be the first one in there. And at first, I didn't know if it was going to be a smart decision, but I chose to act stupid and act like I was this easily manipulated little girl, and that, oh, people can do whatever they want to me. I'm just going to not take it seriously. I tried to dumb myself down as best as I could, but I observed every single thing that it was in my vision, and I mentioned it in my plot chat. And I was like, okay, this person's gonna win the game. They need to go home. Okay, this person needs to win the game. They're gonna go home. But yeah, that's, I'll say that, but and I'll be more specific in my question answers to you guys. But that's what I got before this cuts out on me again.
Thank you, Grace. I'm happy we were able to get that completed, and thank you for coming back and managing with your work and Wi-Fi. All right, so Grace, your opening statement is now complete. We are moving on to the jury. My favorite part of the final tribal council is getting to see these beautiful faces again, even some of them angry faces. We're going to start with the one, the only Ollie.
Hi.
The floor is yours, Ollie.
Awesome. Oh my god, this is scary. Hi. Obviously, as you can tell, I'm not where I normally am. I'm at my boyfriend's. And that's why I'm speaking very loudly because he lives right up there. So I want to start off by saying congratulations to Courtney and Grace. Well done for getting this far. I know this is probably gonna pop some egos, my next statement, but seeing that it's you two at the end, I kind of could see that. Because when it came to the final 7, final 6 area, you were the two people that, when I looked at everyone left, you were the ones that I was most fearful of looking at a final tribal against, because you were the only two people I generally thought I had was going to have trouble beating. Everyone else I thought I had a good, decent chance to beat. You two, I struggled with. So yeah, I basically got 2 bunches of questions that I want you guys both to be on camera for. And then I also, there you are, ugly faces, jokes. So yeah, I've basically got first a bunch of questions that I just need yes, no, or a name for. So Courtney, you mentioned that you were going to trade someone off. Who was that person? Just a name, just because I've got to make this quick.
I'm so sorry. What was the question?
You said in your opening statement that you wanted to trade someone off, kind of when it was just the president lot. Who was that person or people going to be? I just need the names. Don't need an explanation.
So you're saying who out of the Praslin would I have gone for first?
Or yeah,
okay.
Because you mentioned that you wanted to trade off and stuff.
I'm not sure if I sided with you and Michael, it would have probably been you. If I'd sided with Kira and Ali, it would have, or if I'd sided with you and Michael, it would have been Kira. I think if I'd sided with them, it would have been you.
Okay. Yes or no? Did you know about Michael's plan at Final 5?
No.
Okay. Grace, just need a name. Who was your closest ally during the merge after Final 10? Oh god.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, ask that question again.
Who was your closest ally during merge after the Final 10 vote?
Who is my closest ally?
Just need a name, don't need an explanation.
He said he just needs a name, no explanation, Grace, just a name.
Oh yeah, I have a sentence I want to add to that. I'm looking at him right now.
Thank you. Okay.
I'm looking at him right now.
Okay, so this is my main things. So everyone has kind of talked about how they've played this honest game, they've played this straightforward, this loyal game. Can we all just put a bullshit end to this? because we were all motherfucking snakes. I got branded the most snakish, but I was not the one that was going behind people's backs and making side deals and alliances. Anyway, so I now want you guys to be super, super honest. So I'm going to ask you guys a set of questions. Sorry. I'm basically going to ask you guys a set of questions. I want you guys to close your eyes so you can't see each other's answers. And if you feel like the statement is correct, I want you to raise your hand. It's very much eyes closed, hand up game. So I need to see you both. Grace. Okay, so I need you guys.
Hold on. I'm on camera, but I have to put my ear up to listen to you. Sorry.
Ready? Ready? Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Okay, so I want you guys to close your eyes. And if the statement applies to you, I need you to raise your hand. So, at Final Tribal, I felt like I played a better game than Ojani. Raise your hand if you feel like that's true. Grace, I need to see your face and your hand.
Grace, keep your phone straight. Yeah, don't move it. Keep it right there.
Next question. I felt like I played a better game than Dave. I played a better game than Amanda. I played a better game than Kira. I played a better game than the Queen Oliver. I played a better game than Michael. And finally, I know you'll both raise your hand, but I played a better game than Ali. I'm sorry, Ali, that was so shady. Okay. I did have a bunch of other ones, but it's it's just too late for me. I just want to say, you're done, by the way. You can open your eyes, Courtney. I just want to say good luck, guys. You've both played amazing games, like I said. I will talk to you tomorrow because I'm going to go upstairs and get in bed with my boyfriend. But yeah, that's it for me. Thanks, Andy. Love you.
It has been a pleasure, Oliver. Thank you so much. You don't have to stay the whole entire time. I know. Just send me your vote for the winner. Okay. Next in line is a video statement from the one and only Ali. So I'm going to quickly just hop on screen share, show you guys that. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Yes, okay, perfect. All right, can I have one of you, Courtney, could you unmute and just let me know if you see my screen right now?
I do, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, I'm going to play Adi's 5-second video message.
I just want to say, y'all are amazing. I love you guys. I love you guys. Oh, I can be.
that was hard to hear, but he said you guys are amazing. He loves you, and best of luck. Thank you for that wonderful video, Ali. You're amazing. Okay, next juror in line is somebody who's been trying to play this game for quite some time. Oh, Johnny is back in the building.
Hey, what's up? How y'all doing? Good job on both being here. I didn't get a chance to, I guess, really make it that far and merge, but I guess I had a question in terms of your pre-merge strategy for the game and how that progressed after merge. And I will vote based off that probably.
So you just want us to explain our pre-merge strategy and how it translated into merge?
Yeah, but please be brief with it. I don't need like an essay.
Okay. I kind of explained in my opening statement. I used a connection that I saw with, from outside of like within the org community that I saw with Ali and Kira to form a group with them. And then I used the natural connection I built with Oliver and Michael to form a group with them. I set myself right in between those two groups, which insulated myself. And then when that, group of 5 ended up in power at merge, I just stayed comfortably in the middle of all of them to carry myself all the way to the end.
And you feel you played better after merge than before merge?
I think that my pre-merge game was what set me up to have a successful merge game. I do think I had a couple of rounds that didn't go my way in the merge, but even so, the foundation I built for myself kept me safe, even if I wasn't necessarily always getting my exact way.
Okay, so stronger pre-merge. Grace, same questions for you.
Can we hear me? Okay, it's gonna be a little loud, but basically my pre-merge game, basically I do this anytime I play a survivor game, was to stay low, meaning going, if any plan came across, going along with it and doing what I can to, like I said in my speech, to make myself very visible. Meaning, and I showed out, like, and that was my strategy, was to try and show out in these challenges, because I wanted you guys to not only see me as somebody who has talked a good bit in some way, even though I was not the best at texting. I still made myself there, and but that's what my main goal was to stay low in that opportunity and to out try challenges. And I literally, and Johnny, we stayed up until 5 a.m. in the morning. We stayed up until 5 a.m. posting, and posting. And that was my main thing. That was a strategy to do that too, because I knew I was going to be at work all day. And I wanted to be like, hey, let me stay up. And also, staying up during challenges also gives you good bonding time usually with your trash mates, because you're all in pain together. And so I took that opportunity to do that. And I wanted to make you guys see that I was a valuable asset on the league. So that's what I got.
All right, cool. Yeah, again, thank you both for answering my question. I think you both played great games. One of y'all flipped, the other person stayed loyal for the entire, well, not probably for the entire game, but for a good amount more in my eyes. So yeah, it's interesting. I don't know who I'm going to vote for, actually. I'm going to wait a little bit.
Thank you, Ojani. It was nice seeing you again. Next up, we have the man, the myth, the legend himself. One of my favorite players all season. I don't know about y'all. Dave.
Dave, you're muted.
You're muted, Dave boy.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me know. That was embarrassing. Oh my gosh. Excellent game, both of you. Like you both, I'm so stoked to see both of you here. Really, like, what a cool final two. What a deserving final two. Like, I will tell you from my perspective, in some cases, members of the jury have kind of already made their decisions in my perception. In some cases, some people are more torn, like Ojani even just said. Me personally, I'm still kind of torn. Like, my vote is very live here at this final tribal council. I think in terms of my relationship with both of you in this game, it seems pretty equal to me. It's like a net zero for me because you both were good with me socially, but also kind of kept me at arm's length, and it obviously worked out for both of you. You both kind of, what the decisions you made to vote to both kind of vote me out at 8, like, got you further to this point and stuff like that. Like, it's a great, I mean, that's all for me to say. Like, in your answer to my question here, don't try to play to convincing me or like my relationship with both of you, or apologizing for anything with me, because I feel like you both made the right call where you did. You both made the right call in regards to me. Okay, so I'm pretty torn because I think you both played a really solid game. I've been going back and forth. I'm trying to list pros. I'm trying to see where where they are, and you both just have this massive list of pros. Like, you both have like amazing tent poles to your game that show why you should win this game. And what I want to talk about is cons, because I feel like this is a question towards game awareness a little bit, and this is a question towards you try to imagine if you get to the end of this tribal council and you end up losing, for either of you. If you end up losing this game, what do you consider your game's biggest flaw? What do you consider the reason you may have, what was your biggest misstep? The reason you may lose today. So that would be my question. Apologies for the long, extended lead up. I guess Courtney answered Ojani's question first. So Grace, if you want to start on this one, if you're in a good spot camera-wise to do it.
You asked. Hold on. You asked if we end up losing, what would cause us to lose?
I guess, I mean, it's a long-winded way to say, like, what do you consider the biggest flaw of your game? What do you see as the misstep that you made?
My biggest flaw, I can list a couple of them, not gonna lie, because there is no way anyone can play perfectly, and I know I had my flaws in here, and this is the time in my tribal council, and I wanted to say this in my speech too, where it's time to own up to everything that we believe and what we really believe. But my first flaw was I got comments from a couple people say that I got comments from a couple people. Comments from a couple people basically saying, Grace, you didn't talk to me, or Grace, you didn't do this. I tried as hard as I could with the messaging, but with my work schedule, and it just really made it difficult for me, like I said. So that is a big flaw that I have, is the texting situation. I was told by a fellow juror who has not come yet, they know who they are, Grace, I wish we talked more in this game, and I thought I had talked enough to him. I thought we had a really tight bond with each other, and I love him to death, and I don't know how he feels about me now. But that is a big flaw that I have. And another flaw I could say that I also have is not being more dominant, because I think a lot of people viewed me as a sheep in this game, and that's always a perspective I have. But especially here, they viewed me as being able to be manipulated, being able to be a sheep. And even though I wanted to dumb myself down, I really still was nervous. What'd you say? What'd you say? Oh, I don't know what he said. Sorry, I got distracted. But that is another flaw too. I think I could have taken more dominance, and I could have been more responsible when it came to coming on and doing what I needed to do, because I felt I was irresponsible at times as well, not doing things that I needed to do. But obviously, whether I did something right or wrong, I'm still sitting here in the final two. I'm still sitting here, but that's definitely it. And I remember going on call and talking to Courtney about it too. basically like we felt we didn't play the most dominant, and we felt we played a more quieter game, and that is kind of where that comes from. I wish I could have like been more big and bold, and with the talking situation, that was another flaw. So that is definitely what I see.
Awesome. Thanks, Grace. Courtney?
So something I'm very self-aware of is the fact that when I go into games, and this is very true for this game in particular, something I always do is I try to connect socially with people, and I am just myself. But I'm a very loving person. I'm a very social person, and those bonds often get very deep. And I know from, I mean, just awareness that when you bond that deeply on a personal level with other people, if you in any way do anything that goes like hurts their game, and the people I was closest to, I really only voted out one of them, but I still obviously having the bond, the two alliances I had, I was playing the game too. I was being a little shady myself, and I know that it is very possible that I hurt feelings because it does get hard to blur that connection between that genuine friendship and that deep, like actual caring bond, and then the game. And so I believe that my biggest flaw is the fact that I can't help myself but fall in love with people and just be myself with them, and show them that care that I have for them in our talks, but then at the end of the day make game moves that I have to make. And when that time comes, sometimes feelings can be hurt. Feelings of people that I care about, and feelings of people who, when you get to the point where I'm at, that it can affect whether or not they still, or if they feel hurt or burned. And then also, I felt like for the pre-merge and a good portion of the merge, I had a lot of agency over what was going on because I was within that group with Michael and Oliver that kind of was determining what the vote was going to be every round. And I did find it beneficial to me that it seemed like I was hiding in plain sight because I was right there with them making those decisions, but everyone was looking at them as the threats. But ultimately, when Oliver went and then when Michael went, that grip that I had on what was going on, and like that kind of like I wasn't really like, neither of those were what I wanted for those rounds. And so I can't say that I controlled or had control over this whole game. There were 2 rounds particularly where I definitely didn't get my way. And I think that is one flaw in my game, because outside of that, I do feel like I played a very solid one.
Cool. Thanks so much, Courtney. I appreciate it. Thank you to both of you. Again, amazing game, and I appreciate you kind of taking the time and thinking through my question. Because as Tyrion Lannister had said in Game of Thrones, once you've accepted your flaws, no one can use them against you. That's from the HBO hit show Game of Thrones. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Dave. It's been a pleasure hosting you. You've been a fantastic castaway and juror. And yeah, I think your biggest flaw in the game is you're just so good. Take that with you, buddy. Best of luck in your decision, okay? Next up is a shocking juror. So glad he's here tonight. Very, very, very happy about this. Mr. Duke. He's going to make his way on in here. Miss Amanda could not be here tonight, and Duke is the replacement.
Hello, hello, hello. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, Duke, floor is yours. I thank you so much for being here. So happy we get to have you on the jury. It worked out after all.
Absolutely. Hey guys. First of all, I want to say congratulations to both of you guys, ladies, excuse me, on making it here. And obviously, I was eliminated pretty early on, so I don't know the full extent of anything that you've done, Courtney, really. So I've been trying to listen and hear what you have to say throughout these questions and your opening statement. And I'll ask you a question, but I want to address Grace first. Obviously, Grace turned on my tribe at the merge. And I've been listening to kind of your explanation on why, Grace. I think you make great points on why to do it. You had the information about a group that I was a part of that you weren't, and you made a move. And I think it's a good move in theory. You got here, right? So that's awesome. You found a way to get here. I think, in my opinion, I'd love to hear you own up a little bit more to making that move, because right now, the way I view it is Oliver gave you information, and I think that he recovered or found out, and then you kind of just flipped on us. Whereas it could have been an easier road to a finale for you if you kind of just like I don't. It seems the way that you're explaining it is kind of just like Oliver told you something and you went with what Oliver said, and it's not really a question. It's just how I'm perceiving it. And then another thing that you mentioned in your opening statement is that Dave and myself were people that you were closely allied to. Um, I didn't really feel that much of a bond with you. I think you definitely played an under the radar type of game, borderline invisible. I would say pre-merge, but I have no idea what you did post-merge. So that's just my perspective of your game, and that's not a knock on you. I think under the radar is a very that's a game that I'm willing to vote for in the end. I just don't know if I don't think you put as much into the game as if maybe Courtney. And if I were to vote for Courtney in the end, it would be specifically because I don't think you put enough effort into the game. And you mentioned it's about your work schedule, so that's not a knock on you at all as a game player. That's just like maybe time and circumstance. So my question for Courtney is just catch me up on what you did in the game once I was eliminated, and like basically if you give me enough, I'll probably vote for you.
Would you like Grace or myself to go first?
I just want you to answer, Courtney.
Oh, okay. So after you were eliminated, that put me in a majority situation because of Grace voting with us. As I had stated, I pre-merge had put myself in the middle of two trios with Kieran Ali and with Michael and Oliver. I did make the effort to try to speak to Dave, to try to speak to Amanda, but I realized very quickly, despite how lovely they are, that the position I made for myself at the beginning of the game in the middle of those two groups was the best place for me. So I did use the connection and whatever influence I had within my groups to kind of push a Praslin strong narrative, knowing that I was in the best position within the Praslin group. That got me to final six before Praslin went. And then from there, I've stated before that I did find my people turn against each other. Ali and Michael took out Oliver behind my back, and then Ali forced Michael into that tiebreaker challenge. So that was a point where things weren't quite going my way, but I was still, because I got with those people as far as I could, still in a position where nobody was ever after me. When I found myself in the final three with Grace and Ali, I knew that Ali was very loyal to me, but Grace and I hadn't gotten the chance to have that connection. So I did a final hour call with Grace. We talked like all night, fell asleep on call, just kind of last minute found that bond. And that also paid off because that connection we built, I think, was a large part why she brought me here and gave me the opportunity to explain my game to all of you. Also, I never had any votes cast against me, and I won the most individual immunities.
Right. So I think what that's perfect. So I think what you're kind of explaining is you really positioned yourself well socially within your own Praslin 5 there. And then from my perspective, let me tell you, I was watching all the tribal councils. I was super bitter about getting eliminated, so I just wanted to get all the tea on what was happening. And I think you composed yourself the best at the tribal councils, just in general, like answering questions. You're explaining your game perfectly to me, and I think that I was surprised that you weren't cut during the final three. So whatever you did, you worked your magic to get there. And I think I'll probably be voting for you tonight. So congratulations on getting my vote. And good luck with getting, I guess, 3 more. See you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Duke. You're the man. We're moving on to the first female of the night, and I'm pretty sure the only one. Kira, the show is yours.
I'm gonna answer this really quickly because so I can get out of here.
Yeah.
Hey.
And Kira, can you?
So, guys,
Hey, Kira, can you ask Grace the question first?
Say that my dedication, I have my dedication here because I literally
Wait, Grace. Grace, you can summarize. Grace.
Maybe if you ain't remember
Sorry,
me,
Kira.
like I said, I was not the best
She's lagging.
texter. I wasn't best at replying, and I made
Grace.
that. I genuinely
Grace,
but
please hear me.
Really, that move at the merge, it wasn't only because all of
Grace
made y'all work and how tight you guys were, and not willing to be open.
All right, we're just gonna remove her from the stream really quickly. Maybe that'll help her. Grace. Grace, you're lagging very badly. Oh my God, she's still going. Kira, Grace. All right, Kira, the floor is yours. She's lagging, sorry.
Would you be able to hear me?
She just left the stream. She should be back.
Okay. So should I just wait for a couple minutes and then speak?
Yeah, we'll just wait to see if she can get back. I apologize, Kira. Kira, you're more than welcome to either just address Courtney.
Yes.
Yep, you can address Courtney. Apparently Grace's phone is gonna die, and that's unfortunate for her. And Kira is now out of the building. Oh my gosh, she was just there and she clicked out of it. I'm dead. Hey, Kira.
Yeah, so am I waiting for Grace to
No. If you have a
off
question for
or-
Grace, you can. If you have a question for Grace, you can just make it a statement, and if you would like to address Courtney with something, you will get a response out of her. But Grace is MIA right now.
Okay, I can
Hopefully,
just talk to Courtney
yeah,
then.
yeah. Hopefully, you got enough like feedback and stuff from Grace's answers so far.
Okay. So that's fine. I can just speak to Courtney then. Hey,
Hi,
Courtney.
Kara.
Congrats on making it to the finals.
Thank you.
So my question for you is about loyalty in this game, because you mentioned in past rivals that you were a loyal player. So I was wondering, I know that you had like those two different trios with Oliver and Michael and me and Ali. So like the round that I went home, were you the deciding vote to take me out, or was it Michael that flipped?
From my perspective, genuinely, I didn't think that Michael, like, he was definitely waffling on it, but we ended up getting on a call with Oliver, in which Oliver sold to the both of us that it was that, like, why we were going to vote you. The deal that he offered was that if we voted you this round, that we would vote Grace out the following round, because that was Michael's big thing, is he was worried that the two of them were a duo. From the moment that it seemed that Michael was 100% like on board with voting you, as I told you when I called you before that tribal, I knew that my vote wasn't going to save you. And from a game perspective, it would only show my cards at that point. Which from a loyalty standpoint, yes, like I could have voted with you and just lost that vote. But from a like game perspective at that point, I would just be going down with you because I had set myself up in that position that was happening there. Something in my plan, and this is, I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase this. So I'm not trying to point fingers. But something in my plan this whole game to try to get us all to 5 that I never anticipated was the rivalry that formed between Ali and Ollie as much as it did, which caused people particular like wanting to go against each other to happen that I didn't want to see. And I pushed that away for as long as I could, but it just got to the point where it seemed that Oliver was tired of feeling like he was getting targeted by you guys and we wouldn't do anything about it. And so I was obviously open to saving you if I thought that Michael would be on board. But once Michael seemed like he was wanting to stick with Oliver that round, it just, the numbers weren't there. And so I went with what was best for my game.
That makes sense, because I was very confused on who flipped, but you clarified that.
I'm sorry?
Sandy, is Sandy okay, is Grace gonna come, or should I just hop off camera?
I think if unless you have anything else to say, I think Grace is gone until she comes back. I think either her phone died or she's leaving work, in which case the show must go on.
Okay, yeah, I only had one question for Courtney. That was it.
You kind of cut out when you said something about I asked who flipped. Did I not answer? Or like, did I misunderstand the question?
No, you did.
Okay, I just want to make sure I answered correctly. Like, not correctly, but answered, understood what you wanted.
No, yeah, I think she said she was confused about how that like happened, but you explained yourself, Courtney. You're good.
Okay, understood.
Okay, Kira, thank you so much. Those are our 7 jurors for the evening. It's unfortunate that Grace was at work during this. Wish we had known. Obviously, we wouldn't have had a tribal council during the time she was working, but such is life and such is show business. Courtney, I know at the start of this, I did say that you would end with your closing speech, but because Grace is not here, you're going to give your closing speech to the jury listening. And if Grace shows up after you're done, she can give her closing speech. If not, we will get to the vote. All right. Floor is yours, Courtney.
Do we still get to see the Michael statement?
Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. You're so right. I have it ready. Thank you. Michael does have. It's a little bit longer than Ali's. It's like a minute, so we'll actually be watching. Oh my God, Michael! If Michael was here, he's actually going to castrate me for almost forgetting him. So it's been good having my balls this long. Sorry, Michael. Courtney, can you see this?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm recording.
Hopefully there's not a lot of feedback, but YOLO. Just stop me if there is, okay?
So I'm recording this video as my question for the finale, okay? But I just now realized, what's the point of me asking a question if I have to pre-vote?
It's a statement.
Like, it's not going to
Michael.
change my answer. Anyways, my question is for Courtney. So at Final Four, when Ali said he was going to tie the vote and vote me, I told you to vote Ali, like us two to vote Ali, and you told me that you weren't going to do it and there was no chance. Fine, totally cool. Like, I get the move. Anyways, if it was a Courtney, Michael, and Ali final three, and you won the final immunity, were you actually going to take me to the end, or were you going to take Ali? I think everyone was trying to take Ali because they could beat him, and I probably was going to take him as well. But I just want to know your thought process behind that.
Okay, I actually didn't watch that prior. I thought it was a statement, but apparently it's a question. Courtney, feel free to answer.
Okay, so this might sound like BS, but it's the honest truth. I was more than likely taking Ali, but it wasn't due to the fact that I thought I could beat him. It was due to the fact that he was the first person in the game that I made any sort of commitment to. And I try to be as loyal as humanly possible. Obviously, in a game like Survivor, especially when you have multiple allies, it's a final two. Like, you can't be completely 110% loyal to every person as the numbers start to dwindle down. But I did feel like there were, I always use the logic in games. The justification I make to myself is based on, like, I'm 100 with a person until they give me a reason. And Michael, babe, like, you had a lot of things. I mean, you just told me you probably would have taken Ali, but you like offered to swear on a Bible that you were taking me. And I knew that you were like that. Love you with my whole heart, but I knew that you like would very possibly turn on me at some point. You did it to Oliver, and like Ali, he did do the Oliver vote behind my back. But if it was the three of us, I do think I, from a loyalty standpoint, owed more to Ali at that point, and I would have taken him. But I genuinely believe that I played a really good game. So as far as from who you could beat standpoint, I would have felt like I had a chance against anyone, if I'm being really honest. So I wouldn't have taken him from like the perspective of it being like a GOAT situation, so to speak, because I do think Ali has things that he did in this game that he definitely would have been able to speak for. But yeah, I think that I would have probably chosen Ali over you, Michael. We lost Sandy, but I believe that now that he's back.
Hey, I was literally talking backstage. Okay, so thank you so much, Michael. You are incredible. You've made this experience quite memorable. Sorry for almost forgetting you. I hope you're having a great shift at work. Kira, you have the opportunity to ask Grace her question since she is here. I see you're backstage. If you want to hop on and get that question, I'll give you about 30 seconds or so to get on. If not, we will be moving to the closing statements. Kira, if you do want to and you are listening, you need to attach your mic for me to add you to the studio. But you might not be paying attention, in which case we will be moving on. Okay, we are moving on to closing statements. Grace, welcome back. The floor is yours.
Alrighty, we're gonna make this mega big closing statement because I literally, because of what happened in there, and I really apologize for my high professionalism here. Like, I genuinely do. I thought I said something, production didn't, thought I didn't, said I didn't, and that's on me totally. But now I'm here, and I'm here to claim. I kind of go back on the answering, and I'll talk about Duke's questions. That was the last thing I heard. But I came in this game wanting to follow footsteps. My good friends Julian and Jabbar are fantastic, amazing, lovely winners of this series. And coming into this game, my goal was to be Jabbar. I want to be with them. I want to stand with them. That was my goal coming into this game. And I think that if I happen to join that club, it would be literally, I feel no matter what happens, I feel so proud of my game because I came in here and worked my ass off to what I could, even if it was quiet, even if it was under the radar, even if people said, Grace, you didn't feel close to me, I still came in here and worked my ass off. And pre-merge, like I said, I wanted to luck out in these competitions because I knew that my tribe had an inactive end on it, and even though, like Duke said, he didn't feel very close to me, maybe our definitions of close to people is very different. Mine is very different. Like, I just have a conversation like, yeah, we're chill. I love you so much. Just one conversation. That is why I feel close. Like, what makes me feel close to somebody? I'm just a people person. But that's what it was, and especially with the situation, I wanted to make myself look like a valuable asset on my tribe, not only socially, but like coming in here and be like, we need to fucking win these comps, we need to do it. I came in here, and I think I did that. And at that point, because we were looking at that, those extremely social bonds were not, the over-socializing wasn't needed at all, considering the situation that was on my tribe. Merge, going back, yes, Ali did tell me, but that is Oliver. Oliver told me, but that's not the only reason I slipped. I was trying to say that you guys seemed super, 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 super tight, like very tight with each other, considering the things that I was hearing from private people. You guys were wanting to stay legit strong. You guys were very tight, and you guys weren't making as strong connections with those people. I spoke to what I could in that situation. Duke, another reason I voted you, me and Kira went on a call for 3 hours with each other, and I had such a great conversation with her, and at that point in the game, I actually felt a lot closer to her, and considering the situation, it kind of gave me the advantage to do that. So that's like another big factor. It wasn't just Oliver told me, it was because I got close to Kira, and from my perception, you guys seemed so close to each other that I was just expendable to the rest of you, and that had I kept that, you guys would have voted out in any way. You guys would have gotten rid of me. Wasn't the closest to any of you four, and y'all especially showed that in the challenge when we had to rank people and give them points. That is the major thing that showed me that I was on the bottom of all of y'all's, towards the bottom, all y'all's rankings there. That is what showed me there, 100%. And now after that big flip, I had a major target back, in because I determined what was happening in this merge. I said, this is what's happening in this merge. And that during that time, I still kept talking to Kira. I still kept talking to Bradley, even though if it was sucky, even though they say, Grace, you suck. In my mind, I thought I was still doing it. And I still was trying to, and even after that, O'Donnell had his situation and wasn't able, but it's kind of same with Amanda, but Dave, I tried to have that conversation with him and everything, and I'm like, okay, I'm down for this. And at that point, the rest of my game, I'm trying to think, y'all, there's so much I want to say. Oh my goodness, there's so much I want to say, and playing. And then when that final night, Johnny was gone because I slipped on, and I don't blame him for that situation. But I had not only had I slipped, but I also made the bonds there. Literally, the Pradlin people and other people were even Dave, who I just slipped on, were like, no, we are not doing that. So, and they're like, no, we're not doing that. And so that's what kept me in here. And in that time, I tried to go back to dumbing myself down and not make myself look not in, so people would not take me seriously at all. And I could just, after I did something big like that, I could just keep riding along. And I also, yes, it looks terrible. I voted Dave out after that, and I tried to save Amanda. We tried to split Ali, but that didn't work. But I tried to save her because I think in the case, like, me and Amanda had a conversation with each other, and I went to Amanda. Here's the other thing about I went to her. She confirmed it was true. And then going on, I just
Grace,
kept riding.
just start to another minute or so. Grace, just start to wrap it up.
Okay, so more wrapping it up, I continued talking and saying I still kept playing. I still kept going really hard as I could, no matter what the situation was. And I wanted to make myself the only Ladique person left, because I wanted to use what I said at that tribal council. Oh, you send me the jury, I'm not going to vote for the people who want to pagong. That is the reason. Another reason I did that too was I knew the Praslin people would turn on each other, and that was just going to keep me going farther and farther. I knew it was going to happen because they were very competitive. I knew it was going to happen, and all I had to do was link myself in each and every round and move around where I needed to for the round, where I needed to go. But that's what I got to say, jury. A woman is fucking winning this game. It's about time. A woman is slaying and coming and winning. And this is honestly, and I say this is a big dream of mine, to always be in a finals with a girl or with two girls. This has always been a dream of mine. And the fact that Courtney is here, like, that really is just so amazing to me. It's just gonna be beautiful watching a woman win this game. I love y'all so much, and thank you. And no matter what happens, we are gonna have a great ass winner for sure.
Well said, Grace. Thank you so much. In the car and everything. What a trooper. Courtney, round us out of this final tribal council, if you would.
All right, I took some notes to, just kind of address on things that have come up or come to my mind throughout this. So something I don't think I mentioned earlier on that I definitely want to also point out in my game is that I do genuinely feel like I kind of hid in plain sight throughout this game. I think that there was a lot that should have given me a threat level that never really did. I think that, despite it being mind-blowing to me that I did it at all, having those immunity wins could have given me a target. Again, all the things that people were saying where they were looking at Michael and Oliver as running the game, I was right there. I was right there with them. We had all those decisions made and conversations together in our group. Even in touchy subjects, I was voted as who's, when they say who just like mistakenly thinks they're running the game and who's actually running the game, I was voted who's actually running the game. But I think that the bonds that I had previously built and the bonds even that I was trying to make with people, even if I didn't see them as being long-term beneficial, like to my in-game plans, I always tried to talk to people. And I think that helped keep me from ever really developing much of a threat level to most people, which I think is in large part how I did make it to the end without any votes cast against me. And I do think that, socially, those connections helped me in so many ways, including how I'm sitting here in the final two with Grace, because, I did talk to her a lot about it, but I do think that I did have a really good game, and I think it speaks a lot to, my abilities to connect with others, that she is, gave me the opportunity to sit here next to her, because I do think that I had a very good game to go up against in the finals. And you know, I also, it was addressed, the whole people saying they played a loyal game or whatever, and that we have been shady. I did not mean to ever come across like I don't think that I've been shady. I have. I absolutely have. I admit that. I was genuinely in my trio with Michael and Oliver, telling them that I was in a trio with Kira and Ali, telling them that they were my, priority trio, and telling Kira and Ali the same thing. That's shady, obviously. I knew I was going to turn my back on somebody at some point if everything went the way that I was trying to take it. That's shady. But I do feel like I tried to still give as much as I could to those people as I could. I tried to not do too much. I tried not, I didn't make extra groups, extra promises, anything that I knew from that point on, anything I knew I wasn't going to be able to, back up with action. A rule that I've heard somebody told me very early on in playing orgs that I've stuck with is don't tell unnecessary lies. And I feel that that was something I really took to heart in this game. I don't feel that I was telling unnecessary lies. I was shady. I did lie. But I do believe that anything I did can be justified and be reflected in my game and why I got here. And there was no point, I believe, that I was ever um, snowing people just because for the sake of it. I didn't want anybody to leave this game after, before me feeling foolish or feeling really overplayed. And so I was shady, but I do think that I managed that. I managed my shade level in the most respectable way that I think I could have, and I did try to be as honest and as loyal as what I felt was within my abilities while still playing this game that is designed to only get two people to the end. So I'm really grateful for the questions, and I'm really looking forward to seeing everyone. And thank you for sharing this experience with me.
Thank you guys for sharing this experience with me. Ever since I was a little teenage survivor addict, this has been a passion project of mine. This is like one of the things that I feel like I'm most good at. I'm not really, awesome at anything except for, I think, hosting. I think I'm a pretty awesome host when I try to be. So thank you for sharing this experience with me, ladies. Thank you for busting your asses from the start of this game, because if you guys didn't play in the exact fashion that you did, we wouldn't have this awesome female final two, and iSurvivor would not be having a female winner once again. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. You ladies have come as far as you can in the game. You've spoken to the jury, and there's only one thing left, and that is for them to cast the vote for a winner. So jury, you're listening right now, please make your way to your production chats for the last time and cast a vote for the winner. You are either wanting to see Courtney win or Grace win. Go cast your votes and I will go tally them. I'll be back, ladies. Hold tight. I'm gonna quickly move you both backstage. I'll put an overlay up, so if you need to run to the bathroom or whatever.
I have the votes. Are you in a mud mask? What a king. What a fucking king. All right, Grace and Courtney, jury, thank you once again. Production, love you. Thank you for a wonderful season. Couldn't have done it without you. And I couldn't have done it without you, special people. Thank you for applying. Thank you for getting your pregame homework. And thank you for just playing what we put on the table, picking up what we put down each episode, and doing K-pop and eating gross food and staying up X amount of hours in a row, posting fucking graphics. Like, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much. For the last time, I have the votes. They have been locked and tallied. Tonight, ladies, you want to see your name on the parchment. Once the votes are read, the decision is final. Person with the most votes will be crowned the sole iSurvivor of Seychelles. I'll read the votes. First vote. Courtney. Court. That's 2 votes, Courtney. Next vote. Grace. It's 2 votes for Courtney. 1 vote, Grace. Grace. We're tied. 2 votes for Grace. 2 votes, Courtney. 3 votes left. Courtney. 3 votes, Courtney. The winner of iSurvivor Seychelles with 4 votes, Courtney. Congratulations. The vote total, I think I did bad math, but it was 5-2, Courtney. Congratulations. You are the sole iSurvivor.
Thank you so much.
Thank them. I didn't do that. You.
Oh my god. Oh, dude, I'm really proud. Oh my god. I gotta cry for you. I'm proud.
I did say a couple of rounds ago that the winner of this game will be the most adept player socially. And I can confidently say that what I said was actually pretty fucking accurate. Courtney, your social game was no one could compare. People were great at challenges. People were great at making friends, but just the social capital you had, the social power that you had, you were laying the foundations so early. Where Ladigue was just trying to keep their head above water, you had the luxury of being on a winning tribe, and you were able to sit back, relax, build the relationships that you needed. When the merge came, you didn't really have to do much. You didn't have to do much. All of your hard legwork was laid in like the thickest, most concrete cement imaginable. Nothing was taking that down at merge. I commend you in winning all those challenges. The most winningest person out there, even beating Dave. You really deserve this, and I could not be happier crowning you the winner. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Pleasure. I have about half an hour that I could spare to maybe just unearth some stuff in a reunion type of thing. If anybody has any questions that, you know, now can really be brought to life and unearthed, we can do that. If not, we can just take it to Discord and we can reveal everything there.
Congratulations, Courtney.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Courtney.
Thank you, Dave.
Court, we can add you to the jury chat. I know like Amanda was just there and stuff. She just had, I think, woken up, or the time zone messed her up. So we could take it to Discord since it's just us 3 here.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Congratulations, Courtney. Thank you, jury. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, production. Tony, I love you. I couldn't have done this without you, Tony. Noah, love you. Drew, Rocky, Lexi, you guys are the best. Oh, there's Grace. You guys are the best. I love my prod staff. I have the best prod staff ever. Grace, I think we might take this to Discord. So like once you get home, either we can go on voice chats or we can open up all of the confessionals, take a look at what's in there. We can open up the forum and yeah, enjoy it that way. All right, everybody have a great evening. It's been a pleasure. Viewers, love you. Goodbye. That's another iSurvivor in the books.
Awesome. Thanks, Sandy.
Been a pleasure, y'all.